So all of you have given the yesterday's examination, because I got one message from one student that he was having some problem. So whatever students are present here, so all of you have given the examination or some problem was there related to physics practical. If you have given the examination, put yes in the chat box. Yes, Amit, Akshay, Sayyad. Okay. Okay, good. Good to know that. Good. Okay. Okay. So, considering that all of you have given the examination, the next schedule we will plan. Just a second. हेलो, यस, हाँ चलो लेक्चर ज्वाइन कर लो, ठीक है? हाँ हाँ, लेकिन कब ज्वाइन कर लो? हाँ ठीक है ज्वाइन कर लो. Okay. Okay, so yesterday you have given the test on first practical Zener diode. So once your MSc 1 gets over, we will have the schedule for rest of the practicals. Okay, so whatever time suits you, we will have that thing. So be ready with the contents. Of course, you might have seen the yesterday's questions. So like that, questions will be dependent upon the practicals that you have performed, and according to that you have to give the test. Okay. So related to yesterday's topic, we have seen the production of ultrasonic waves by two methods, that is nothing but the piezoelectric method and magnetostriction effect method. Next to that, we have started discussion on the applications. So some of the applications we have seen. So is there anybody who will give us the idea what were the points that we have seen yesterday? Vaishnav Patange. Yes, Vaishnav. Akshay. What were the points or what are the applications that we have seen related to ultrasonic sound waves in yesterday's lecture? Yes, Amit. अरे तुम्ही लोक आहात ना मीटिंग मध्ये? माझा आवाज येतोय?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then I have asked one question. Even I have called names of certain students, Vaishnav, Amit. Okay. So, okay, who will tell the answer? Akib has given one answer. Ma'am, we had a discussion on sonar. Okay, one method or one application that we have seen is the sonar, that is nothing but sound navigation and ranging, which basically used in various kinds of submarines and ships to get the knowledge about the obstacles in the path. Okay, so whenever a ship or submarines will get propagated, will have propagation through water, if some obstacles are there, that may create trouble. So to avoid the obstacles, this kind of systems are used. Okay, and here basically which property have the application, that is nothing but the reflection of sound waves. So whatever is the reflection, based upon that design of sonar system has been done. Okay, so that part we have seen yesterday. Next to that, one more point we have started, and in between we lost the connection. So that point was the medical field. So in medical field, ultrasonography is the area where ultrasonic sound waves are used. Okay, so you people know in a good manner what is ultrasonography and where to do and when to do ultrasonography. Okay, so again here also there will be the reflection phenomenon of ultrasonic sound waves. Sound waves will get penetrate into the body, and from the tissues or cells they will feel the reflections, and whatever is the reflection, that will be dependent upon the internal structure. So whatever is the internal structure that you can see on the screen, okay, on the screen, or even in the form of photographs, you can have that structure. Okay, so these are the points that we have seen yesterday. Now we are going to talk about some more applications of ultrasonic sound waves. Okay, so here you can see term is provided, fish finder. The term itself gives you the idea what will be the fish finder. So whenever a submarine moves into the water, again this is having relation with sonar system. So as like sonar, here also you can feel the reflection of sound waves, and that reflection is used to detect fish that are present in the path of propagation. Okay, so basically particular kind of people who want to get fishes from the seas, they can use such kind of systems, or even the submarines and ships, while having the propagation, to avoid the contact with various kinds of fish and group of fishes, such kind of systems can be used. So again in fish finder, reflection and transmission of the signals will be done. Okay, so this is related to fish finder, which is similar to sonar system. Okay, the next point is the acoustic grating. So in last lecture, in unit first, we people have seen the diffraction grating. So is there anybody who will tell what is diffraction grating? Because similar to diffraction grating, of course this term is there, acoustic grating. So if you can explain the diffraction grating, you can get idea about the acoustic grating. Okay, so what is diffraction grating? Who will tell? Yes. Is my voice audible to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then give me the answer.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes.
Diffraction grating is component of optical devices consisting of surface ruled with close equidistant.
Yes, basically we have seen the structure of diffraction grating, a glass slide on which certain lines are made, parallel equidistant lines are made, uh, due to which what will be there, there will be a pattern like this, glass scratch kind of thing. Okay, so that we have seen with respect to diffraction grating. Now whenever these ultrasonic sound waves, they will get propagated through liquid, the density of the liquid material will get changed layer by layer. Okay, so there will be certain points, say one layer which is having particular density, then another layer variation in the density, then another layer variation in the density. Okay, so again this is creating alternate pattern as like diffraction grating. Okay, so such kind of variation in pressure, variation in density of the liquid happens when ultrasonic sound waves get propagated through the
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, somebody wants
Ma'am,
to.
Farhan is not able to join.
Yes. Yes. Okay, I think he has joined. Okay. Okay, so density variation pattern will get generated after the insertion of ultrasonic sound waves into the liquid medium, and that will form the acoustic grating. Okay, so like the grater we use in our kitchen, so same kind of pattern will be over here. One particular thing, then variation, then another thing, variation. I think again somebody wants to join. Okay. Is there any other student who is interested to join the lecture? If somebody wants to join, ask them to join immediately. Okay. Okay, so that is diffraction, acoustic grating. So here you can see how the grating will look. So whenever a light, so as like diffraction grating, whatever we have seen, same can be visible with the help of this acoustic grating. So here you can see in particular medium. Okay. I have given 5 minutes break, so it was expected that you people should join lecture at 12:30. Now it's 12:38. So don't do this again and again. Don't create disturbances while having the lecture. Okay? So whenever it is said to join on the time, kindly follow this particular instruction. Okay? Okay, so here you can see in particular vessel piezoelectric oscillator is created. A piezoelectric crystal is kept at the bottom side. Then here you can see the reflector is mounted. This particular system is full with some kind of liquid. Now whenever the ultrasonic sound waves will get generated over there, there will be density variation, pressure variation in the liquid. So that will create a particular acoustic grating kind of structure. So whenever monochromatic coherent light source will be in contact with such kind of pattern, it will produce the diffraction. So as diffraction you might have seen for the light, so same kind of diffraction pattern is also visible for the ultrasonic sound waves while having propagation through the liquid. Okay, so this is the concept. Of course it is having so many things to discuss, but that is not part of our discussion. So just keep in mind, like a diffraction grating, there will be acoustic grating. Okay, so another application after acoustic grating is the non-destructive testing. Okay, so if you could understand the meaning of these words, of course whatever is the application, that will be clear to you. So non-destructive testing means here while having the testing of various kinds of structure, destruction will not be there. Okay, some methods are there. Say suppose I want to inspect some kind of structure by some external parameters. Okay, so there are some chances that material will get destruct over there. There will be some damages with the help of applied pressure and all the things. So with the help of non-destructive testing method, you can inspect various kinds of elements. Like basically one application we can say related to this non-destructive testing method is in the jewelry manufacturing. So you people know what kind of various kinds of jewelries are available. So if some pair of earrings are there and one is having particular structure, another is having some different kind of structure, so no one will be interested to buy that particular pair because designs are not getting matched with each other. Okay, So at that time, basically after the fabrication of that jewelry, non-destructive testing with ultrasonic sound waves is basically done over there. Why to do non-destructive testing? Because here you can see whatever are the flaws in the structure that can be detected with no damage to the structure. Again somebody wants to join, I think. Just a second. Okay, so on screen you can see one animation. So what you can get through the animation, who will tell what that animation tells to us? You are saying that there is one ultrasonic test unit, a transducer is used over here, or a probe we can say, and here is the structure under test. So what is happening over there?
Ma'am, it is used to detection something using ultrasonic waves.
With respect to the testing by the probe, you are getting some kinds of spectra on the screen. Okay, suppose this is a
Yes,
screen.
ma'am.
So whenever this probe is at this particular position, if you can see the pointer, if probe is at this particular position, of course here is the reflecting surface, so you will get a spectra related to that. But for this particular position you can see the cracks are there or some uneven structure is there, so that cracks are detected by the system. Okay, because reflection will be immediately here. To get the reflection, that ultrasonic sound waves have to travel this much distance, but here what is happening, after having this much propagation, reflection is seen over there, so it means this particular structure is having some defect at this position. Okay, so that will be shown by the ultrasonic unit which is used over here. So like this, whatever are the obstacles in the path, they in the form of spectra, they are visible on the screen. So like this you will get to know that some flaws are there or some irregularities are there in particular structure. Okay, so for such kind of applications, such kind of things where you need to examine the materials in such a manner, one can use the ultrasonic sound waves. Now this non-destructive testing is having various categories. So one method is visual inspection, then liquid penetrant, magnetic particle inspection. One is ultrasonic flaw detection. So basically here we have seen, whatever we have seen, that was related to ultrasonic flaw detection. Okay. So this is not the part of our concern, so we will go to the next point. Okay, so ultrasonic sensor is another application. Again, one can say sonar or whatever fish finder and ultrasonic sensors, they are similar to each other. Okay, because ultrasonic sensors, what they do, they sense the ultrasonic sound waves, and basically this is used to measure the distance, various kinds of distances, with the help of ultrasonic sound waves. Now what it does in actual, that you can see over here, again the same thing, that whatever you have seen in the fish finder or sonar system, same thing happens over here. Here basically to determine distance between two objects, ultrasonic sound waves are used. Here you can see the left hand side is nothing but say source of the ultrasonic sound waves. Here is the entity, and we need to calculate this much amount of distance. Okay, so ultrasonic sound waves are emitted from the source to this particular object, then their reflection is calculated at this particular time, and after that one formula is used over here, that is nothing but distance L is equal to half into T into C. Okay, so with the help of this formula one can determine the distance. Now in this formula, of course, we are calculating the distance L. This T is nothing but the time period which is required for the ultrasonic sound waves to travel from the source to the object and again to the source or again to the receiver. Okay, so the entire time period of transmission and reflection, that is taken over here, and then the speed of that ultrasonic sound waves is also important over here, so that speed is selected over here. So distance is nothing but half of the T into C. Now here half factor is taken, so can you guess why this half term is provided over here while calculating the distance? Yes. Is there anybody who will tell why the half term is provided with respect to this measurement, distance measurement? That half is related to the time period, so we are considering half of the time period while calculating the distance. Why it is so? Here basically the time period T is nothing but time required for these sound waves to propagate from the source to the object and then again come back. Okay, so basically while calculating distance we need to know this much amount of time period, time required by the ultrasonic sound waves to reach at this particular position, but we can't have any circuitry at this moment. So of course receiver will be at this position, so we are going to consider half of the time period which is provided over here, which one can get with the system.
मैम डबल कंसिडर करना चाहिए ना,
डबल कैसे?
क्योंकि टकरा के आ रहा है ना मैम।
हाँ, टकरा के आ रहा है, तो टकरा के आ जो रहा है that is nothing but the T, and we have to consider it's half of the time period. Half is required. What is T? T is nothing but the transmission and getting the reflection. Okay, to measure the distance, what is required? The time period from the transmission to reach at the point of reflection. That's why half term is provided over here. Okay, is there any doubt in this? Is there any doubt?
No मैम।
Okay, so the value is multiplied by half because T is the time for go and return the distance. Okay, so this is all about the ultrasonic sound waves, and basically here it ends your unit number 2. As I said, a very small unit and interesting unit. I don't know how much interest you people have got, but of course it is very simple and easy topic to understand, to learn, and to give the examination. So if you people are having any doubt, any question, we can have discussion right now. Is there anything that... Yes.
मैम इंस्टेड ऑफ सोनार वेव्स वी कैन यूज रेडियो वेव्स। ब्रॉडकास्टिंग के लिए पहले वो यूज होता था ना मैम।
Even right now also for broadcasting radio waves can be used, but see whenever we talk about various kinds of application, again this is the thing that is application dependent. What you want in actual, depending upon that you have to select the entities. Okay, suppose if I'm interested to find out, say obstacles in the path of ship, I'll go for the ultrasonic sound waves. If some other applications are there where that wave should get passed through some they may get passed through some vacuum or something, then I have to use the another material. Okay, so here one need to see what is the application and what material suits to get that application in a better manner. Okay, so it is not a limit, but depending upon application you may use anything. Okay, so radio waves or any other waves can be useful if application ask about them. That is
Okay, ma'am.
okay. Any other question from your side?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so again take a screenshot. This will be a home assignment for you people. So first take a screenshot of this particular slide, and then I'll give what to do with this particular structure. So hope you people have taken the screenshot. Now here words are provided like we have done for the unit number 1. You have to arrange the words across and down structure. Okay, so here you can see various points. Numbering is provided here. So what will be the number 2 across or down, that you have to mention. And after the lecture, in the lunch break, you can perform the activity, and immediately after that, once you complete it, share your images with me so that I'll get to know that you have done the job. Okay, so this will be one assignment for you people for today, and this will be one assignment that you can do tomorrow, because tomorrow is the Sunday, no lectures are there, so you are having ample of time. So what will be the assignment? Here one link is provided. Of course I am going to share this link with you on your EP discussion group. Okay, so you people are going to watch that video. Video is only of 2 minutes or something. So you have to first go through the video, and as you people never ask me question, only I think Akib or Pranali, only few students are there who are interested to ask the question, but that is not required from my side. I want that everybody should question me. So what I have done, I have created this assignment. So you people are going to watch the video at first, and then you have to prepare one multiple choice question based upon the contents that are provided in the video. Okay, basically that video is related to ultrasonic sound waves, properties, then applications and production methods. So you have to prepare one multiple choice question. Whenever you will visit, suppose I have visited at a particular time and I have seen that already Siddhi has created one question. So either I can give the answer to that question, or I can create my questions in a different manner. Okay, so both the ways you can work for this particular assignment. Either create your own multiple choice question. If some questions are already there, you can answer them and you can prepare your own question again. Okay, so this will be the assignment for tomorrow. So I'll share the link maybe today evening or tomorrow morning. So according to that, go for the video and complete the assignment. So this will be the part why I am asking for this particular assignment. Of course, this is not a compulsory assignment like assignment I am conducting for teacher assessment, because but you people are having the MSc 1 next week, so this will be helpful for that particular thing. Okay, so go for this. This will be the suggestion from my side, and this is the end of our unit number 2. So we are having much amount of time. We will start discussion on the next topic, that is nothing but unit number 3. So can you recall what was the unit number 3? Yes, in very first lecture I have mentioned all the units and their contents. So what is the unit number 3? in your syllabus?
Ma'am, crystal structures.
Yes, it is related to crystal structure and X-rays. Okay, so like the previous unit that we have seen, that was very easy to understand and easy to correlate with our daily life, because whatever we have seen, that are the points related to the activities that we do every day or we feel every day. We have seen the reverberation. So reverberation is there around ourselves in our day-to-day life. You people have visited various kinds of theaters and all, so you can correlate the points of good acoustical design over there. Then ultrasonic sound waves, you people have seen certain circuitries like ultrasonic pest repellent. You people might have seen somebody has done the sonography. So it is very easy to relate all that things with our daily life. Okay, and that's why I have mentioned already that unit number 2 is very easy to understand. But if I talk about unit number 3, so unit number 3 is core physics kind of thing. Okay, so core physics related things are provided in this particular unit. Here you can see the title, crystal structure and X-rays is the title. Here on the screen you can see what are the contents. So first we are going to see what is the crystal structure, what are different types of crystal structures are available. To understand the crystal structure, one need to know certain parameters. That parameters are lattice and unit cell. Then with respect to determination of crystal structure, one need to know what is Miller indices. Then for various kinds of crystal structure, some parameters can be calculated, that are nothing but the atomic radius, coordination number, packing factor, and that are related to simple cubic, BCC and FCC diamond structure and NaCl crystal structure. Okay, so already I think this packing factor calculation you people have seen in your 12th. So again, just recall of all that activities you can done over here. Then lattice constant and lattice density, we are going to talk about that. Okay, so this is the part of crystal structure. And in X-rays we have to understand what are the continuous and characteristic X-ray spectrum. Then what is the Bragg's law of X-ray diffraction, Bragg spectrometer, and one method to determine crystal structure, that is powder crystal method. Basically here whenever we say a particular entity is having say simple cubic structure, so how one get to know that it is having a simple cubic structure? Basically the answer is you need to go for X-ray analysis. Okay, so there are certain instruments with which you can perform the X-ray analysis, and you can see, you can calculate various points related to crystal structure. Okay, so this is pure basic solid state physics branch of physics world, and of course we have to see what are that points. Okay, so if I ask what are the states of matter, what will be your answer? What are the states of matter?
Solid, liquid, gas,
Solid, liquid, gas.
plasma.
Okay, solid, liquid, gas, plasma. Is that enough?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so here I have used one emoji. So what that emoji says? This emoji is related to which kind of expression?
Doubt.
Doubt, thinking. Think.
So whatever answers
Heaven theory.
yes, whatever answers you people have provided, of course you might have read that things in your textbook, or might be some of your teachers who have taught this, they have mentioned these only states. Okay, so here you will get one image after this. So while reading textbook, where it is written there are 4 states of matter: solid, liquid, gas and plasma, of course there will be such kind of doubt because there are two more states of matter, Bose-Einstein condensate and fermionic condensate.
बट एक्चुअल प्रैक्टिस में उसे कंक्लूड नहीं करते ना मैम,
Yes,
एक्चुअल प्रैक्टिस में उसे इंक्लूड नहीं करते ना मैम.
but they are there. Okay.
यस मैम.
Okay, so we need to consider all the things whenever we go into the details of any matter. We need to consider all the states. Okay, so basically these are the states you should consider at every study, okay, if it is required. So basically why I have included this particular slide at first, because here we are going to talk about states of matter, and basically we are more interested in the solid state over here. Okay, so here whatever is the discussion will be done, that will be related to solid state of matter. Okay, so that's why basically crystal structure and X-rays, this forms a particular branch of physics known as solid state physics. Okay, one important branch of solid state physics. Of course various stages are there, states are there, that we know. Now what is this solid state physics? Basically in solid state physics one can study various properties of solid materials. Okay, so to do the study related to solid materials, this particular branch of physics is there, solid state physics. And basically here what is done, we can calculate various parameters of solid matter with the help of X-rays. So that analysis we have to see in this particular unit. Okay, so you might be knowing that solid materials can be divided into various categories. So what are that categories that are provided on the screen? Solid materials can be divided into categories like crystalline materials, polycrystalline materials and amorphous materials. So who will tell how is the arrangement of atoms in the crystalline, in polycrystalline and in amorphous? Of course image is in front of you, just you have to explain whatever you can see over here. How is the arrangement of atoms in three types? Yes.
Ma'am, can you repeat the question?
How is the arrangement of
Ma'am, in three
atoms
dimension.
in these three types, in crystalline, in polycrystalline, in amorphous?
Ma'am, in crystalline three-dimensional it is arranged.
One may be a doubt here. Whatever circles are you people are seeing, consider they are the atoms. Okay, so any material we know it forms by particular arrangement of atoms. So here whatever spheres you can see, they are the atoms, and you have to explain how is the arrangement.
Ma'am, in crystalline position is fixed and in definite order. In polycrystalline,
Yes.
there is some void present in between,
Okay.
and in amorphous they are randomly arranged.
Yes, that is correct. So if you consider these figures, then in crystalline you can see whatever atoms are there, they are in a particular order. Okay, so array of atoms are arranged in a particular order and they are closely packed with each other. Okay, so whatever atoms are there, they are in close contact with each other. So void spaces or vacant spaces are not present, or if they are present, they are in a very small amount. If we refer the polycrystalline material, of course you can see a particular order over there, but that particular order is limited at particular area only. Or basically polycrystalline material is the combination of various kinds of arrangement. See here, if you see this particular block, atoms are arranged in a particular order. If you consider this particular block, then you will see the particular ordered arrangement of atoms. For this area you can see another arrangement of atoms. So the polycrystalline material will be a combination of various kinds of arrangement, but of course they will not be in a closed contact as like crystalline materials, but of course some kinds of orders will be there for a particular area, for a limited area. And in amorphous materials, atoms will be arranged in a random order. There will not be any fixed position of the atoms. Atoms will be oriented randomly in the amorphous material. Now, depending upon the arrangement of the atoms, the properties of materials will come into picture. Okay, so how are the properties of these materials, that we have to understand. So basically in crystalline material you can observe the regular arrangement of atoms can be seen, and in case of amorphous material irregular arrangement is seen. Okay, so basically if we talk about the crystalline materials, what examples you can give? If I ask you what are the materials which are crystalline in nature, then what will be the answer? Yes.
Ma'am, we have to name the metal.
Yes. I didn't.
We have to name the compound or metal.
Carbon, silicon,
Yes,
and germanium.
anything. You can give the broad name.
Carbon, silicon, germanium,
Yes.
plastic.
Yes. Plastic and glass, they are related to amorphous material. Okay. So crystalline. Yes. Diamond is
Tolerance.
a crystalline. Yeah, of course, that is correct. Okay.
Graphene.
Yes, graphite you can
Yes, ma'am.
say. Okay, related to graphene, it is very complicated to give its nature. So that is a different part. Of course, that we are going to discuss later. Okay, graphite you can say it is a
Okay.
crystalline material. Okay, so basically crystalline, non-crystalline, they can be divided by the arrangement of atoms. Okay, so whenever they are exposed to X-rays, whatever pattern will get generated, that will be different in both the cases. Like the second point you can see on the screen, when exposed to X-rays, his structure also produces a distinctive pattern, okay, on the screen. And in case of amorphous material, poorly defined patterns will be there. So why this particular point is mentioned over here, and what is the main motto of studying this particular topic is that whenever you will go for say higher studies and you are going to design a new material, okay, so whenever one could synthesize a new material, of course properties will not be known to anybody. Okay, so for such kind of novel materials you need to go for such kind of analysis with which you will get to know what are the properties of the material. Okay, so to understand the crystal structure, you need to expose that material with X-rays. Now whatever is the pattern generated over there, through that you can say either the material is crystalline or that material is amorphous material. Okay, so this is the main motto to learn all that things. Then as I said, depending upon the arrangement of atoms, certain properties get developed over there. For crystalline materials, we can observe that melting points of the materials will be sharp or they will have fixed value. Whereas if we talk about the amorphous material, there will not be a fixed value, but there will be a particular temperature range. Okay, so in that range only that material will get melted over there. Okay, so these are the some of the properties with respect to crystalline and amorphous material, provided just to give you idea that these are the things that are dependent upon the atomic arrangement of the materials. Okay, so depending upon the materials arrangement, properties gets developed over there. Now next to see, in order to understand the crystal structure of any material, you should know two parameters. Okay, one parameter is lattice, another one is basis. Okay, so have you ever heard these two words, lattice and basis?
लैटिस सुना है.
लैटिस सुना है. ओके. Where you have heard and what its meaning?
मैं 12th स्टैंडर्ड के अंदर केमिस्ट्री के चैप्टर सॉलिड स्टेट में था.
Okay, and its meaning is?
मैम अरेंजमेंट ऑफ एटम वगैरह.
इंडेफिनाइट स्ट्रक्चर.
Okay, good.
एटम मॉलिक्यूल का अरेंजमेंट.
Okay.
एटम्स आयन के वो मॉलिक्यूल में होते हैं.
Okay, and about basis, you people have not heard anything. Okay, so
No.
basically, this is the usual question that I ask while asking about the lattice and basis. Many of the girl students are present here, so even boys also may have idea that while making rangoli जो हम जनरली बनाते हैं घर पे, कभी दरवाजे के सामने या कभी कुछ फंक्शन हो तो घर पे या भगवान के सामने. सो द रंगोली, while making a rangoli, various kinds of designs are available and various are the techniques. Okay, so earlier days women's were having designing with some dots. So have you ever seen such kind of rangoli made with certain dots at first and then
Yes, ma'am.
connecting that dots with each other? Okay, so you might have
Yes.
seen that thing. Okay, so if you have seen, then you can correlate that thing with the crystal structure. Okay, so making rangoli with dots is one thing. Another thing is that there are some ladies like me who are not having much knowledge about rangoli making. So what they generally do, they see particular design. First they put the design with the help of some chalk or some other thing. Okay, so one design that is in imagination, that is put in actual at first with some say chalk and pencil kind of thing, and then with actual rangoli the design is made. Okay, so you might have done this particular thing, or you might have seen that somebody is doing the rangoli in such a manner. Okay, so here basically whenever we talk about the crystal structure, again these two methods comes into picture. Okay, so making dots at first, that is nothing but the lattice, and putting rangoli over there, that is nothing but the basis. Okay, so how we can define the lattice? Lattice is nothing but the imaginary arrangement of points in a vector space. Okay, what is lattice? It is nothing but the regular arrangement of points, but that points are imaginary ones, and that we are doing in a 3D space. But when we put actual atom at that particular position, then it forms the crystal structure. Okay, so putting actual atom or an atom or group of atoms associated with each lattice point, they are termed as bases. Okay, so how one can give its example? Say this is a basis, this is the imaginary arrangement of points termed as lattice. So whenever we will put this basis at each lattice point, it will give you the crystal structure. Okay, so by the combination of lattice and basis, crystal structure can be provided. So in terms of formula, one can say crystal structure is equal to basis plus lattice. Okay, so write down this particular formula for your reference. Crystal structure is equal to lattice plus basis. Is there any doubt up to this?
No.
Okay. So you have to keep in mind that crystal structure is formed with lattice and basis. There should be some imaginary arrangement of atoms, and when actual atom will be at that position, crystal structure will get generated over there. Okay, just a second. I think time is over. So we'll stop at this particular point, and next discussion we will do in the next meeting.